What's going on, everyone? Austin John Plays here, and today I'm going to be talking about Mario+Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Mario+Rabbids Sparks of Hope is a sequel to Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle that came out for the Nintendo Switch in 2017. It's a unique game because it's a tactical, turn-based RPG that Mario's in, with guns and Rabbids from Rayman, and this is the sequel. Just to let you know, Ubisoft did send this over to me beforehand for a review, and full disclosure, if they didn't send it to me, I would have been buying this game anyways. I played the first, and I loved the first. In fact, I completed Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2 times, including the DLC and all of the challenge courses. The sequel is different in some ways, and better in a lot of ways. It seems like there was sort of a formula, sort of an idea that they had that now had an opportunity to be flushed out and polished and figured out more or less. Ubisoft requested that I do not go past the third world while showing you this video, and I didn't. In fact, I literally just unlocked it, however, I haven't even landed there for the first time. You're in a spaceship, and you sort of fly around. You're no longer just in the Mushroom Kingdom, and this takes some sort of inspiration from Mario Galaxy, including the fact that there's Rabbid Rosalina in this game, as well as some other stuff, and the overall feel of the game is different. You're no longer going to one specific land, and then you're going through a course and you're in level 1-1, 1-2, 1-9, 1-10, and then you go to the next world, and then it's level 2-1 and 2-2, and so on and so forth. Instead, it's sort of small open world bits. This is the first world that you explore, called Beacon Beach. And when you first come here, there's a horrible rainstorm going on, and you're trying to fight the big bad of the game, which is called the Dark Mess. That's it. Like darkness, but with an M instead of an N. Anyways, you come here and you run around, and there's sort of random enemies that appear. I think there's some bomb-oms that usually hang out here, like we can see right here. And then there's also larger battles that take place. And then there's special currency that you can get, and it just feels different and refreshing. The one thing that really caught me off guard is there's voice acting for almost all of the characters, especially the Rabbids. Before, they just made Rabbid sounds, and now they have voice acting, and they say small phrases here and there.
Hey! Oh yeah! Blessed.
Including this by Rabbid Mario, which is probably my favorite thing said in the entire game.
He's at the greatest moment of my life.
His voice is like, oh, it's an old Italian man, he's gonna yell at you, get off his lawn. And then Rabbid Luigi sounds like a kid. Just a regular white kid. So there's some polarity between them, including a new character named Edge. This is Edge, it's a girl, and Bowser's in the game, but that was all shown in the previews and the trailers, and you discovered this pretty early. Anyways, to initiate a battle, you can have an enemy thrust into you, dash into you, or you dash into them, and then you have a preparation screen. On the preparation screen, you get to see the entire board that you're in, and the battle scenes look so much nicer than they used to. In fact, there's a few situations that the Switch is having a little bit of hard time keeping up, but then it usually catches back. There's a tact cam that lets you go through and see what every character does, what their strengths and weaknesses are. As you can see, this one is neutral, no strengths or weaknesses, so bad example, Austin. As well as there's characters that you could pick up and throw, like this bomb-omb over here, that you could run into it, it turns upside down, there's a timer, and you throw it. There is a healthy amount of managing your team between the various characters that you have available. These are all the characters I've unlocked after the third world. And the weird part is, you start with 6 of the 8 original characters. I have not encountered Yoshi or Rabbid Yoshi, I don't know if they're in the game, but instead, you have Rabbid Rosalina, Edge, and Bowser. And every character handles very, very differently. They have different weapons, they have different techniques, and the sparks, the whole gimmick of the game, this is basically your power-ups. If you want Luigi's weapon to have a frostbite effect, which will prevent the enemy from moving, or if you want it to have a burn effect, which it runs around in a circle like it did in the first game. There's a whole bunch of new ones and fun ones and stuff that used to be an ability in the first game, like this guy right here, Glitter, which basically just gathers all the enemies around you. Returning from the original game are skill trees that you get to go in and customize different abilities and power-ups that the different characters get, which is fun because you get to build the characters typically in one of 2 or 3 different ways. For example, I've had Luigi with me most of the game. He works in almost every scenario. There are some scenarios that he doesn't work, but someone else will. And he has the ability to hit from 37 meters away, which is, I think, the longest in the game. If you played the first game, you're used to Rabid Luigi with his vamp dash. Instead, Edge has the ability to dash 4 times, and you can give it the vamp ability, or you give it a different one. You could give it the bounce effect. You have a lot more customizability over what you want the different characters to do and how you want them to play. You're also going to notice that I don't have full health. That's because you get to choose the difficulty of the game. I chose to play the entire game last 22 hours on the most difficult settings. Demanding enemy threat is on high. Hero health management is not restored. Hero skill management is manual. Invulnerability, it's basically a pacifist mode. Or not pacifist, but God mode. You get to just play through the game, take no damage from anyone, enjoy the story. Great if, you're playing this game and maybe a younger sibling or one of your kids wants to play it, not on your profile, and you don't want them to ruin stuff, or you want them to be able to enjoy the adventure, go for it. Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle is rated E10+, meaning that it's rated for everyone, but it's recommended for audiences that are 10 or older because, it's cartoon violence, the same thing as cartoons when you were growing up and I was growing up. The problem with it is you have to have a level of cognitive understanding to actually play this game. You need to figure out what's going on and play through the characters and the different matches. Also, my face is covering it, but that was probably 200 or 300 coins to be able to heal my team before a battle. The battles themselves, you may have seen in the previews that you get to run around freely. And if you've played the original game, me doing this right now might seem a little weird. But honestly, it helped streamline the gameplay of each round, and when one round used to take 20, 30, 40 minutes, you're breezing through these in 4, 5, or 6 minutes. Because you can go through and put your characters in the exact position that you want them to be in. Like, as Bowser here, I'm going to use Gather Round, which is going to attract all of the enemies to my position. Great, all 3 of them are here. And now, I'm just going to come in and we are going to use my vamp ability so that I gain health back, so I didn't even have to pay the coins at the beginning of the round. And we dash into these guys, and then I could pick this up and I could throw it at the one that's remaining. He's still alive. I have more than one dash attack. Boom. The entire round is done. Luigi didn't even do anything. Wait, is it not done? Who's left? Who's left? This guy's left. Okay. And boom, that's my main ability. Between using items, using one of your sparks, using your character's ability, and using your main attack, those 4 things, you get to do 2 of the 4 each round. There are items in the game, like mushrooms to help you regain during battle. I didn't find the items too necessary for my playthrough. I did 100% the original game, including the extremely difficult rounds. So this game hasn't been too much of a challenge. There have been a few times that I've been stumped. Anytime I've gone into a round and there's a new enemy being introduced or a new class of enemy, which is much more varied from before, listen, the second time around, I got it. Halfway through the battle, you hit the plus button, go to restart, change your team around, figure out what works best for that battle, and you're good to go. As far as the overworld, there are some puzzles like the original game, except now they're far less repetitive. And there are some puzzles that first you have to do this puzzle, and first you have to do this puzzle, and before that you have to do this battle. And you're gonna see it in the distance. You're gonna see the end part of it. And then you sort of have to figure it out. You have to sort of hunt down the beginning of why that is the way it is. And Little frustrating, little fun. There's a lot of coins that you get when you play through, and there's a collection system of different items that you can get. I've already unlocked these. As far as the weapons go, the sparks are now the weapons. Instead, now it's just weapon skins. Ubisoft actually sent over the gold version, which includes the DLC, the pre-order bonus and everything. And it's just skins. That's the only difference between the different weapons. Between the Flying Blade, the Galactic Blade, the Wildwood Blade, all the exact same weapon, they just look different. Same thing for Luigi's bow. Bowser has this giant rocket launcher. Mario has his traditional blasters, except now there's 2 of them. I don't know if it was 2 before. I forget. There's no more tank-like weapons like there was in the first game where every character had a secondary weapon. Instead, now it's just you have your main one weapon. And Peach's is hysterical because it's a giant cannon on top of a parasol. The gameplay is fantastic. After 22 hours of gameplay, I am 54% done with this game. So you could assume it's about a 40, 45, 50 hour game, depending on your playstyle and how you play through it. I'm enjoying a challenge. I'm enjoying playing through it that way. And if you played the original, then yes, you're gonna play the more difficult difficulty. Or not, do whatever you want, you know, you do you. Sometimes after a hard day of work, you just want to come home and, you know, power through a game. Go for it. The same sense of exploration and coming back to the areas that you were in before is present, although I don't feel like it's as in your face as it was before. So now on your main map, when you see that you don't have everything done, you're eventually going to come back and you're going to eventually figure it out. And it's not typically always a battle. Sometimes it's just having a new ability and going to a new area or a puzzle that you missed, which is a fun thing to do. And as far as the worlds themselves, they are big. They feel big, but instead of it being sort of a linear course like the original was, now it's one main area and you kind of dip off in this direction and then you head back. And then there are some sub areas. And the sub areas is like the second half of the story of that world. And the story of that world is like a third of what there is to do in that world. There's a lot of side quests that you can do. This quest log, there are 2 main quests in this world, and then side quests. There was 22 that I found so far, and I'm apparently missing something if you look at that little spiral sun. And as you can see, there are sometimes multiple parts to these side quests, so they're not all just quick, over, repetitive, boring stuff. Throughout this video, I've been referencing the original game, Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, quite a bit. Now, you may have not played Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and you may wonder, do I need to play Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle in order to play Mario+Rabbids Sparks of Hope? You don't have to. The gameplay is inspired from but not and derivative of the original. You're not going to be at a handicap if you did not play the original. You may wonder why you have Rabbids mixed with Mario characters if you didn't play the original. But also if you didn't play the original, soon as you start off, there's a memory that just tells you why exactly what is going on. How we went from the big creepy Bowser back there to something else. The creative director of this game is the same as the last, David Soleani. Did a fantastic job. The music is done by Grant Kirkhope, as well as there are 2 more people, Gareth Cocker and Yoko Shimomura. The music feels different. Like the original, it was big triumphant themes everywhere that you are, but now as you're journeying around, when you're in more vacant areas, there's not always a huge triumphant chorus line playing. Instead, that's saved more for the battles. It's sort of like, I don't want to say it's Breath of the Wildy, but it gives you a chance to explore. This is a bad example because there's just an overworld theme on this level because, you know, it's a beach, it's nice, and it's fun looking. I don't know what that is yet. 3 levels in, I don't know what that is. I think that's the reason I haven't 100% of these levels yet. But you know what? That's one of the things that you're gonna feel when you play through these games. If you played the original game or if you played Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, most RPGs in the Mario verse, you're used to seeing these little things and you're like, well, I don't know what that is. I bet I'm gonna learn what to do with it later. And then I'm gonna come back here and you make that mental note of it. That is present, and that's something that I really enjoy in video games. In addition, that whole concept of If you explore an area your gamer intuition tells you to go over here, you're rewarded, like a piece of heart behind a waterfall. Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the original game, is very often on sale. I see it go on sale every Black Friday and every time Nintendo has a digital sale. The all-time lowest price for the Gold Edition, which includes the DLC, is $13.59. Base game is $9.99. If you happen to pick up the original game and play through it and absolutely love it, you may want to pick up this game because it's fresh enough and it's different enough that it feels like a new game that you're familiar with already. And I really enjoy it. If you've never played a tactical RPG game before, maybe pick up the original and try that out, or watch some people play it online to see if it's the right kind of game for you. Just like the original, it's not the everyone pick this up game. It's not a Mario Odyssey, it's not a Breath of the Wild. It's a very unique game, requires some thinking. And if you enjoy thinking in your video games and strategy and going into different battles with different scenarios and different character loadouts, you may enjoy this game a lot. So, is it worth it? If you played the original and enjoyed it, then 100%. If not, if you didn't play the original and you haven't played any game in this category, maybe do some more research, see some more gameplay, see if it's right for you. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you again to the team at Ubisoft for sending this over early. If you found my thoughts and impressions helpful, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up to let me know I did right. If there's something that you would like to hear more about when I cover one-off reviews like this, please leave comments down below. I always like to grow and learn from them. And thank you so much for being here. Until next time, Austin John out.